going on, everyone? I wanted to first wish you a happy Friday. It's a gorgeous Friday here in Toronto, so hopefully it's a gorgeous Friday where you are, because you know what, when it's sunny out, you just get that vitamin D, you get that energy, and you just feel great. Everything is a little bit more uplifting. Even the bad news becomes a little bit better when it's sunny out. So happy Friday and happy sunny Friday if you're celebrating one. So what I wanted to talk about today was actually my top 5 favorite CEOs. So these are the CEOs of large corporations, large organizations, and I feel like I'm a little bit of a nerd in a sense when it comes to really looking up to a lot of these CEOs and executives, just simply because I almost look at them like some people would look at sports players. I mean, if I could collect CEO baseball cards, you know, well, I guess they'd be CEO cards, I would do so. They're pretty cool, and I don't know if I'm just a nerd in that sense, or maybe just a techie kind of guy, but it's really just something I really enjoy doing. I enjoy, you know, keeping up with what these CEOs are doing with their businesses, what they're doing with their lives. I just find them to be really inspirational individuals. So, starting things off, the first person on my list, and this isn't in no particular order because trust me, I spent a long time trying to think of who I would position in what order. So anyway, starting things off, we got Larry Page. And Larry Page is the current CEO of Google. He actually took the reins from Eric Schmidt. Eric Schmidt is now, I believe he's the president. So link in the description, everything I'm talking about as usual. But Eric Schmidt was made president, and Larry Page was made CEO of Google. Now, Larry Page is actually a founder, or one of the founders of Google, alongside with Sergey Brin. So the reason I really like Larry Page, first of all, he did a keynote not too long ago, and I believe I mentioned it in a video. He had vocal paralysis, and he still went up on stage, did his keynote, did his speech at the end of a very lengthy Google Developer I/O conference, and he answered tons of questions from people, you know, and his voice was completely shot. So I was really impressed by the fact that he didn't just blow it off, that he did show up, that he did take the mic and did start to speak. I mean, it's just incredible. It's incredible to see the dedication and devotion to his company and to the direction of the company going forward. So Larry Page is a very innovative individual with a lot of insight into the technology space, and I think he has nothing but good coming for Google. So I'm very pleased that he is the current CEO, and you know what, he's someone I would put my trust into as the CEO of a large corporation such as Google. So next on my list we have Tim Cook of Apple. And you know, some people would say, well, why is he on your list? I mean, I'm not putting Steve Jobs on there. I mean, he's dead. This is kind of alive, active CEOs. You know, P.S. disclaimer. No one hate on me for not saying Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs is great. But Tim Cook has really filled the shoes, no one can fill the shoes of Steve Jobs, but he's done his best. I mean, if you think he's come in after the passing of Steve Jobs, and he's held together a large branded, huge multinational branded corporation such as Apple, and he's done an amazing job. He has displayed nothing but poise, and he's very charismatic. He's just an intelligent guy, and he's done an extremely good job in terms of just taking things over from where Steve Jobs left off. Initially I was kind of hating on him just because I'm a huge Jobs fan. I always have been. But you know what? He's done an amazing job, and I'm extremely impressed with Tim Cook. So that's number 2. Number 3 on my list is Marissa Mayer, and you know what? It's actually interesting. She is obviously she's a female CEO, but it's funny because this is primarily a male-dominated space when it comes to CEOs and executive roles in large corporations. However, Marissa Mayer comes in, and she is the current CEO of Yahoo, and she is very aggressive. She is a very aggressive female in the space, and I love it. I love seeing it. She's buying up companies left and right. She doesn't care. She's whatever. Yahoo's got money. We got cash flow. Let's buy some shit. Why not? Because you know what? They need to be aggressive. They need to be a dominant force in the space, because Yahoo has started to just, I wouldn't say started. I mean, they've been on the decline for years. Meanwhile, Google's just completely blown them away in terms of market share, sitting at 60, 70+% in the search space. Oh, sorry, geez, losing my breath here. In the search space. So you know what? I'm very impressed by Marissa Mayer because she comes in and she's aggressively buying up companies, and not just in a stupid way, not just like let's just buy things because we can, more in the sense of let's buy things because we can and we're going to use them in our business model. We're going to put Yahoo back on the map, on the virtual map, on the internet map. So I'm very impressed by Marissa Mayer. Her recent purchase of Tumblr was an aggressive one, but I think it was very clever because you know what? Tumblr is on the rise. It is a popular social network, especially among the younger generation, especially among teenagers. So what she has gone and done is purchased a social network that's on the rise in sort of a demographic that is dominating the internet space. I mean, it seems like a very clever move on her part and on the part of Yahoo and her entire staff and her entire team. So I'm very impressed by their purchase there, and I hope they do nothing but great things with Tumblr. If you want to follow me on Tumblr, by the way, do so. Link in the description below. Check it out. After that, we got Elon Musk. And I have nothing good to say about Elon Musk as well. He is the current CEO of Tesla Motors. Now, you may not have heard much about Elon Musk, and you know, if you're not too involved in technology and you don't care too much about cars and stuff, you know, you may not hear too much about him. What Elon Musk has done is come in and taken a company like Tesla Motors with that branded name, Tesla. You know, that's really important. And if you don't know who Tesla is, if you don't know what I'm talking about, then I don't even know. He's the reason a lot of things exist. He's the reason you can turn on this monitor and watch this video right now, to be honest. He's the reason you can flip on a light switch. He's the reason to do a lot of things. I'm not going to go on. That's a whole different discussion. Anyways, Google search him, Wikipedia that shit. So check out Tesla. Elon Musk is a great CEO because he has been under fire nonstop ever since he's really started pushing out his electric car model with Tesla Motors. So Tesla Motors is the only company in the world that produces only electric cars. And you know what? You'd say, well, so what, electric cars? But you know what? They do it well. They do electric cars and they do it right. They do it correctly. So I'm really impressed by Elon Musk. He's constantly under fire from, you know, a very diesel, petrol, gas-dominated industry. He's just constantly under attack. He's constantly being interviewed on Bloomberg News, and some of those news reporters are really aggressive with their line of questioning, but he's there ready to answer the questions, and you know what? He just basically tells them in the most polite way possible to fuck off. That's it. He's a brilliant person, and he's an excellent CEO. He's not just an excellent CEO in the sense of his responsibilities with Tesla Motors. He's also a visionary because he comes up with all sorts of new and unique ideas to help improve and innovate the world. So he actually has a lot of interesting ideas for the transportation industry in general and how to really just improve upon that in certain cities. And you know what? I'll try to put as many links in the description below as I can. There's just so many articles and just tons of information about Elon Musk and what he's doing. He's actually been compared with Iron Man, oddly enough. And I'll see if I can find the infographic on that as well, because he has, like, you know, X amount of billions of dollars, and the fictional character Iron Man has X amount of billions of dollars. Both of them have these technology companies, both of them around the same age, extremely innovative individuals, and he's been compared with Iron Man in many cases, so that's pretty cool. We're at 4 right now. I got one more to go. I see this is where it becomes tricky because there's so many more that I'd like to include in this list. I could go on. Just you know, name a few. I'll do them at the end of the video, just who are noteworthy. Right now, I think I'll fill number 5. I think I'm going to go with Jeff Weiner from LinkedIn. And there's no particular reason for that. I think he's a very consistent CEO. I think he took LinkedIn, which was a Web 2 company that went public, and he did it with poise. They did it correctly. They did it very nicely. They didn't pull a Facebook and just have all this wishy-washy sort of wonky business going on here with a bunch of the investors questioning what the hell, you know, what the hell's being done. When they went public, they did it properly. And you know what? LinkedIn is a solid company. They have a strong business model. People bash on them. They say, well, they're no Facebook. They don't have a crazy user base. But you know what? They have a strong user base, a great foundation for a good social network. They know their statistics, they know their numbers, they know their demographics and their usages, and they're proud of it. They stand behind it. And you know what? They're going to be around for a while. So that's why I like Jeff Weiner, and I like his style as a CEO. He's someone you can look up to or aspire to be like, for sure. So that's pretty much it. That's my top 5. I could just continue to list off, tons more. Just again, noteworthy CEOs that I would like to mention, and this will include some dead ones, some previous past CEOs and stuff like that. Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, of course Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, really good moneymaker for sure. Gurbaksh Chahal, he's one you may not know. He's actually a very young CEO in comparison to a lot of these other guys here. He is the current CEO of Radium 1. Previously, he sold a company to Yahoo called Blue Lithium, and he sold that for $300 million. And he did that in his, he did it at a very young age. We're talking like late teens, early 20s. I can't remember the exact, don't quote me on that. He's a great CEO and a very motivational individual. He's a very family-oriented type of guy. I could even include him in the top 5, but you know what? I don't think he's had enough real experience managing massive companies. So his companies that he runs, they're large, but they're nowhere near Facebook, Yahoo, and all these other ones. So those are some noteworthy ones I'd like to mention. I'll put some more in the description below. I don't want to take more time here because this video is already pushing over 10 minutes. I'm shocked. This is not my typical format. That's all I wanted to talk about. That's all I wanted to say today. Have a look at some of these CEOs. If you're a fan of any of these large techie companies and you like creative, innovative CEOs, because you know what? These guys are driving the future. Oh my God, I keep talking. Okay, that's it. Have a good Friday, everyone.